What's up, everyone? We're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. And I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group. And as you guys see, we actually got 22 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now, a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 2 picks wrong, got 22 right, which is a 94% win rate. Yes, guys, you heard that right. 94% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak. But if you want to get a 94% win rate and get 22 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon. Should be a link down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $400 just yesterday. Another member who won $120 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, the link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Cringe Gamers 2180 who said let's get some bread, and also shouts out to Randy Harris 2559 who said I smell too. So shouts out to him as well. And if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. All right, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to be talking about is none other than Kiki, and this one is for 7.5 rebounds, and this one is for less. Now looking at Kiki, we actually have seen her go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now this one's an interesting one because we do see on June 27th faced off against the Las Vegas Aces and had 9 rebounds there. Then June 29th faced off against Dallas Wings, had 2 rebounds. Then July 4th faced off against Minnesota, had 7 rebounds. And then July 9th faced off against Chicago, had 10 rebounds. Then also had 8 rebounds against the Las Vegas Aces on July 11th. So we have actually seen Kiki, go on the under in 2 out of the last 5, and her average over the last 5 is also 7.2. Now looking at this matchup, we do know that she does play for Washington Mystics, and they do face off against none other than Seattle Storm. Now looking at both of these, teams, starting off with Washington Mystics, we do know that they rank 7th in the actual WNBA. They have a record of 10 wins and 10 losses, a 50% win percentage, are also 7-3 at home, 3-7 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. Now, when we look at this, we also do see that, when it comes to Washington Mystics, they rank 3rd in the Eastern Conference, and they face off against Seattle Storm, who do actually rank 4th in the WNBA with a record of 13 wins and 8 losses. They also have a 61.9% win percentage. They're also 7-3 at home, 6-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak as well. So looking at both these teams, they both have done pretty well. We do believe that, when it comes to how the playoffs and the later seasons is going to play out, or the postseason, it's definitely still all up in the air. So both teams are definitely still fighting. But looking at Seattle Storm and where they do rank defensively when it comes to rebounds, we do see that Seattle Storm do rank 11th when it comes to rebounds allowed. However, the reason why we still do like the under for this situation here is that when it comes to Seattle Storm, they actually do a fantastic job at actually restricting rebounds to the forward position. And for that reason, we are definitely expecting the under for someone like Kiki. Now, Kiki is a great player, do not get me wrong, but we do believe that a lot of the attention and defensive attention will be on Kiki as she is the forward, and it could definitely, cause a lot of struggles for her and cause the under for this situation here. So for that reason, I definitely would keep an eye out for the under for this situation here. So keep an eye out for Kiki for 7.5 rebounds for less. I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about Sabrina Ionescu. So, Sabrina Ionescu, great player, and this one is for 19.5 points, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Sabrina, we actually have seen her go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now, looking at those 5 games, you see on July 9th, faced off against the Las Vegas Aces, had, 28 points in that most recent matchup. Then, when we look at July 7th, Seattle had 22 points. July 4th against Sparks had 20 points. And June 30th had 14 points against Atlanta, and then June 28th faced off against Phoenix and had 9 points there. So, we have actually seen her go in the under in 2 out of the last 5, and her average over the last 5 is still, however, 18.6. So, significantly below this line. Now, when we look at this, we do see that Sabrina Ionescu and New York Liberty face off against Atlanta Dream. Now, it's definitely going to be a big game there, but looking at this matchup, New York Liberty and also Atlanta Dream, we do also see that New York Liberty rank third when it comes to the WNBA, but they also rank first in the Eastern Conference. They also have 13 wins and 6 losses. They have a 68.4% win percentage. They are 8-2 at home, 5-4 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. Now, they face off against Atlanta Dream. Now, Atlanta Dream on the other side do rank 5th in the WNBA and have a record of 12 wins and 8 losses. So, they have a 60% win percentage, and they also are 8-3 from home, 4-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So, it's definitely been interesting there. Now, looking at someone like Sabrina Ionescu, we do very much like the under for this situation, because when we first look at Atlanta Dream, starting off with their defensive ability, we do see Atlanta Dream do rank 7th when it comes to points allowed, but Atlanta Dream do actually rank very high when it comes to restricting points to the actual, guard position, which is what Sabrina is. And that's why we definitely do like the under for this situation here. We actually do notice as well when it comes to Atlanta Dream, the way they like to play defense and their defensive strategies is really honed in and focused on stars. They like to stop stars as much as they can and have the other role players do a lot more of the scoring, and that's kind of the strategies that they do like to build there. So, coming into this game, we do very much like the under for this situation here. And when we look at this matchup, we do see on June 30th faced off against Atlanta Dream, and in that matchup she only had 14 points. So we definitely saw it there, and we are expecting to see it again coming into this next one, no doubt about it. So for that reason, keep an eye out for the under for this one. So Sabrina Ionescu, 19.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about another great player, and that is Rakia Jackson. So, Rakia Jackson, great player, as we all know. This one is a points one as well for 12.5 points, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at, Rakia Jackson, great player, as we all know. Now, she does play for Los Angeles Sparks, and she has done a great job. On June 27th, against Indiana, had 14 points. And June 30th, faced off against Chicago, had 6 points. Then July 4th, faced off against New York Liberty, had 8 points there. Then July 6th against Indiana had 15 points, and July 11th faced off against Minnesota and had 14 points there. So it's definitely been interesting. Now, looking at Rakia Jackson, we definitely have seen her go in the under 2 out of the last 5, and her average over the last 5 is also 11.4, so significantly below this line. Now, coming into this next matchup, we do know Rakia Jackson and Los Angeles Sparks face off against Connecticut Sun. Now, coming into this game, we do also see that when we look at this matchup, Los Angeles Sparks do actually rank 11th when it comes to their WNBA ranking. However, on top of that, they also do rank 6th in the Western Conference. So they have a record of 6 wins, 14 losses, a 30% win percentage. They are also 1-8 from home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. Then on the other side of things, we see them face off against none other than actually Connecticut Sun. And against Connecticut Sun, they've also done a fantastic job because, we actually have seen them, do pretty poorly. Sorry, I meant poorly, because they actually do rank 13th in the WNBA with a record of 3 wins and 17 losses. So it's definitely been a little bit of a struggle there. Now, they have a 15% win percentage. They are also 2-7 from home, 1-10 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. Now, when we look at someone like Rakia Jackson, it's definitely an interesting one, because we do actually see that when it comes to Rakia Jackson, she is a forward, and looking at Connecticut Sun, yes, they do rank 13th when it comes to points allowed, but Connecticut Sun actually do a fantastic job at restricting points to the forward position, and that's where we definitely are expecting Rakia Jackson to definitely struggle. When it comes to Rakia, she is a great player, but what we have seen time and time again is that Connecticut just do a fantastic job against big men, especially that forward position, and we definitely are expecting someone like her to be on the short end of the stick. So for that reason, keep an eye out for the under for this one. So when we also look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also are a favorite for the under as well. So Rakia Jackson, 12.5 points for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player we're going to be talking about is none other than actually Jordan Canada from Atlanta Dream. Now, when it comes to Jordan Canada, she is a fantastic player. We have actually seen her average 10.5 points, 3.5 rebounds, 5.1 assists, and 1.8 steals. So she definitely has done a fantastic job for Atlanta Dream. And on top of that, when we look at Atlanta Dream, they do have themselves a very, very interesting matchup because we actually do see that Atlanta Dream face off against New York Liberty. Now, definitely is going to be an exciting game between both of these teams, as we all know. But looking at where both of these teams do actually rank, looking at Atlanta Dream to start off with, they do actually rank 5th in the WNBA. They rank 2nd in the Eastern Conference, but they do have a record of 12 wins and 8 losses. So that's a 60% win percentage. They are 8-3 from home, 4-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak as well. So it's definitely been big for them there. Now, looking at Jordan Canada and Atlanta Dream, we do know that they face off against New York Liberty. And looking at New York Liberty, we do see that they have a record of 13 wins and 6 losses. They have a 68.4% win percentage. They are 8-2 at home, 5-4 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak as well. So it's definitely been very, very good for both of these teams. I do believe both teams have done very well. Now, obviously, Liberty do rank a little bit better, but looking at Liberty defensively, we do also see that they actually rank 6th when it comes to points allowed. They also rank 8th when it comes to assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, we also do see Liberty rank 12th. So when it comes to this, matchup, although Jordan Canada and Atlanta Dream are a decent team, New York Liberty, on the other hand, although they are better ranking, they actually do a poor job when it comes to restricting points, rebounds, and assists. And for that reason, we definitely are expecting someone like Jordan Canada to be able to go on the over in this situation here. Now, a big reason for this is that when it comes to New York Liberty, they do play a pretty fast-paced type basketball type game. They love to push the pace. They love, really pushing the pace as much as they can, and because of that, more pace means more volume means more opportunity for someone like Jordan Canada. So we definitely see someone like her being able to go on the over. Now, looking at the last 5 games, she's definitely had some pretty big games. We saw her face off on the 28th against Minnesota on a 96-92 loss on overtime. Now, she actually had 14 points, 3 rebounds, and also 7 assists there. After that, we also saw her face off against New York Liberty with a 90-81 win with 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists there. Then faced off against Seattle Storm, had an 80-79 loss with 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists. Then Golden State Valkyries with a 90-81 win with 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists. And then against Indiana Fever had a 99-82 loss with 30 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists there. So we definitely have seen Jordan Canada do a fantastic job. Now, when it comes to Jordan Canada coming into this game, we also do know that, her usage rate does remain pretty well over the last 5 games. And we also did see that when it comes to this matchup, we also do see that they have faced off against each other recently. And we actually saw her do go on the over in all 3 categories. So for that reason, we do very much like the over for this situation here. And when it comes to, someone like Jordan Canada, we are sticking to the over. So keep an eye out for Jordan Canada's line. I see a lot of value there to go on the over, especially the line is under her averages. So, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Leila Lacan. Now, Leila, great player. She's honestly done fantastic. Now, she has actually averaged 7.7 points, 3.7 rebounds, 1.7 assists, and also, has done a great job, but also only averages 0 steals. So, not really great defensively in that assets. But when we look at Connecticut Sun and Leila Lacan, we also do know that they have themselves a very big matchup against Los Angeles Sparks. So it is definitely going to be an exciting game between both of these teams. Now look at where both of these teams rank. We do know Connecticut Sun have definitely struggled, I do believe, during this regular season, because they currently rank 13th in the WNBA, and they also, rank last, since there is only 13 teams in the WNBA, and also rank last in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of 3 wins and 17 losses. That's a 15% win percentage. They are 2-7 from home, 1-10 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So it's definitely been a bit of a struggle, for this team. Now, looking at, someone like Leila, we also do see coming into this matchup, they face off against Sparks, who do rank pretty poorly as well. As they rank 11th in the actual WNBA. They rank second last in the Western Conference and have a record of 6 wins and 14 losses. They have a 30% win percentage. They are also 1-8 from home, 5-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. So it's definitely been an interesting one there. Now, looking at Leila Lacan and Connecticut Sun facing off against the Sparks, we do know Sparks defensively do actually rank, 12th when it comes to points allowed. Assist allowed, they do rank 12th as well. And then when it comes to rebounds allowed, we also do or have seen them rank 4th. So they rank a little bit higher in that rebounding category for sure. Now, coming into this next game, it's going to be a big matchup for sure, because both of these teams are, really fighting for every single win. But looking at Leila Lacan, we do actually like the over for this situation here, strictly for points and assists. Now, obviously, Leila Lacan does probably have the highest usage rate, I would say, in the points department. So I would say you can definitely focus a little bit more than that compared to assists. Rebounds, he definitely does have a decent usage rate, but the fact that Sparks do a great job, at restricting rebounds, we definitely see that affecting it here. So for that reason, we do very much like, the over for someone like Leila Lacan in the points and assist department. Now, I do believe definitely just a quick hint is looking out whether there will be a line out for the assist for Prize Picks. Prize Picks, they like to release lines for sort of, I would say categories that player actually has a pretty high usage rate in. And since Leila Lacan only does average 1.7, it is still very 50-50 whether there will be a line that will be out for that. But I think points is definitely where you want to focus on. Now, looking at her last, recent games, we have seen her face off on the 7th against Las Vegas Aces, had 5 points, 0 rebounds, and 1 assist. Then on the 10th, faced off against Seattle Storm, had a 93-83 victory, had 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists there. Then on the 12th, faced off against Seattle Storm, had a 79-65 loss, and had 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist there. Now, when we look at that, I think overall, we still do like the over for someone like Leila. This one's just kind of a simple and no-brainer one to us. So keep an eye out for the over for this situation here. So for that reason, keep an eye out for a line, especially or specifically points and assists. If the line is under our averages, they definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Sug Sutton. So Sug Sutton, great player, as we all know. Now, she's actually done a fantastic job for the Washington Mystics, averaging 7.3 points, 1.3 rebounds, and also 3.1 assists and 1.1 steals. So she definitely has done a fantastic job there. Now, when we look at someone like Sug, we also do see Mystics face off against Seattle Storm. This is definitely going to be a big game, but looking at where both of these teams do rank, we do know that Washington Mystics have actually, have themselves in the 7th spot in the WNBA. They have actually 10 wins, 10 losses, so they have a 50% win percentage. They are also 7-3 at home, 3-7 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. So it's definitely been interesting there. Now, looking at this matchup, we also do see that, Washington Mystics face off against Storm, as we mentioned, and Storm do a little bit of a better job because they do actually rank 4th in the WNBA and rank 3rd in the Western Conference. They have a record of 13 wins and 8 losses. And on top of that, we also do see that they have a 61.9% win percentage. They are 7-3 at home, 6-5 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So it's definitely been a pretty interesting time for Seattle Storm and also Mystics. They do find themselves in a little bit of that mid-tier category, but we are definitely expecting, coming into this matchup, it's definitely going to be, a big thing. But looking at this, matchup more intensely, we also do look at the defensive, sort of categories that Seattle Storm rank in, and we do see that they rank 3rd when it comes to points allowed. They also rank 5th when it comes to assists allowed. And then rebounds allowed, they do rank 11th. Now, when it comes to someone like Sug, we do actually like the under for this situation here. And a big reason for this is due to the fact that when it actually comes to Sug Sutton, she also does have a pretty low usage rate in all three departments. Now, for that reason, we are definitely expecting, someone like Sug to actually go on the under due to the fact, looking more in-depthly, that we do see that not only are Seattle Storm really going to do a fantastic job at restricting, points, rebounds, and assists, but they also do a fantastic job at restricting those categories to the guard position. So that's where we definitely are expecting Sug to really suffer. We see her going on the under due to these reasons, and looking more in-depthly, we also do see when it comes to Sug, we also have seen her usage rate be, on the low side, especially against tougher defensive teams. So we definitely see that happening. Now, looking at, her last 5 games, you see against Minnesota had a 68-64 victory with 12 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists. Then faced off against the Aces on the 27th, had 84-83 victory with 17 points, 1 rebound, 5 assists. Then faced off on the 29th against Dallas Wings with a 79-71 loss, with 12 points, 1 rebound, and 3 assists there. Then on the 9th, face-off against Chicago, had 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. And then against the Las Vegas Aces, also had a 70-68 win with 5 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists, and 1 steal there. So we have actually seen Sug Sutton, do really, really well at times. Other times hasn't really done too well as well. Her usage rate is very unpredictable due to the fact that she isn't, I would say, the main player for this actual Mystics team. And it really does depend on what the defense gives them. And the fact that, Seattle Storm do a great job defensively, we are expecting that to have a huge effect on Sug, as other players in this Mystics teams may have a little bit more, usage rate out there. So for that reason, keep an eye out for the under for this situation here for someone like Sug Sutton. Keep an eye out for the line. If the line is too close to our averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Aziaha James. So, Aziaha James, great player, as we all know. Now, Aziaha James not only is a fantastic player, but we also have seen her average 8.5 points, 2.8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 0.8 steals. So, it's definitely been, or has been a great season for Aziaha James so far this season. But now they find themselves in a very, very intense matchup, because they face off against none other than Indiana Fever. Now, Indiana Fever are a great team, but not only that, but we also do know that when it actually comes to this matchup, Indiana Fever and Dallas Wings, looking at their rankings, we do see, starting off with Wings, we do see that they rank 12th in the WNBA. They have a record of 6 wins and 15 losses. That's a 28.6% win percentage. They are 4-6 from home, 2-9 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. On the other side of things, we do actually see that, someone like, or a team like Indiana Fever rank a lot, or a little bit better, as they do rank 8th in the actual WNBA, but also rank 4th in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of 10 wins and 10 losses, 50% win percentage, are also 6-6 from home, 4-4 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So it's definitely been, big for them there. Now, looking at Indiana Fever defensively, we do know that they actually rank 4th when it comes to points allowed. Also, when it comes to assists allowed, they do rank 1st, and then rebounds allowed, they do rank 2nd. So they actually rank very, very well in all 3 categories. And for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. When it comes to someone like Aziaha James, she is a fantastic player, but Indiana Fever have just been such a great defensive team that we are expecting that to affect her greatly coming into this matchup. So I definitely would keep an eye out for someone like Aziaha James coming into this game. Now, looking at our last 5 games, we do see that against Indiana Fever had a 94-86 loss, had 14 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists there, and 1 steal. Then against Washington Mystics had a 79-71 win with 15 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist there. Then against Phoenix Mercury on the 4th had a 98-89 victory with 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. And then against Phoenix Mercury with a 102-72 loss with 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. And then on the 10th, faced off against Chicago, had an 87-76 loss with 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists, and also 4 steals. So, we definitely have seen Aziaha James at times play, really well, other times not really. Now, we did did see in a most recent matchup against Indiana Fever, she did actually have 14 points. Now, she did go under in her rebounding assist, but she did do a little bit better in that points department. Now, we are expecting that to be a little bit more of an, I would say an outlier type game, in a sense that her likelihood is most likely to go in the under. Yes, there will be times where they do beat their lines, but coming into this next one, we are expecting, the more common sort of situation to happen, which is her going on the under. So for that reason, keep an eye out for the under for this situation here for someone like Aziaha James in all categories. If the line is too close to her averages, then definitely look to go on the under.